Hi there, Aaron Dunn here from the SMSF Academy, and welcome to our August 2017 update, where we share with you what's been happening around SMSFs, but more specifically with the SMSF Academy and our campus platform. In this video today, we're going to be going through some of the latest news, in particular the release of the ATO's Position Paper on events-based reporting for SMSF. We'll also go through some of our new and updated features around our campus platform, including a big feature update in our dashboard, a revamp of our CPD register, and some information around some of the new developments that we're currently working on to be able to push back information to your SMSF software, and also some exciting news around our launch of workflows. We'll also go through some of the new SMSF documents, in particular around the super reforms, dealing with retirement phase income streams, some further information around our transfer balance cap commutations, paramount documents, and much more. And then we'll finish off around some of our upcoming training and events, where we've just been on the road for both the Class Connect and BGL RegTech events. We've got some upcoming webinars, and also we'll be joining the ATSA conference, the Accounting Technology Solutions event in Sydney in October 2017. The first thing we wanted to make you aware of is that in recent times the ATO has released a position paper as part of the ongoing consultation with the new events-based reporting requirements that we need to comply with the introduction of the transfer balance cap. Now, what this position paper does look at is two options that are currently being explored by the ATO for the specific exceptions to the legislative instrument that is going to require super funds generally to report 10 days following the end of the month. So these exceptions are looking at different quarterly reporting options 28 days after the end of the quarter, whether that's in its entirety in option 2 right through till 30 June 2020, or whether we see some exceptions permanently in respect to the commencement of income streams, repayments of LRBAs and the like. Most importantly, we do have a transitional period that applies for SMSFs until the 1st of July 2018. We did run a webinar in August on this topic with events-based reporting for SMSF, so for our members, you can access that at any time within our campus platform. For non-members, you can purchase this online at learn.thesmsfacademy.com.au. I encourage you also on our SMSF Academy website, we recently have a podcast where I discuss some of the issues from this ATO position paper as well. In terms of some of the new and updated features inside campus, we're going to be sharing with you our update to our dashboard, where you can now in more detail and give you better visual application to track the monthly number of documents generated and the client revenue that you may be deriving from these specific orders. We have now undertaken a complete revamp of our CPD process and introduced new digital certificates and an updated CPD register. So we'll show you a little bit in respect to how that all works. We do have some further API developments that we've been working on. Shortly, we will be introducing a new functionality to send newly established funds that you order inside campus to send that information back to Class Super. So effectively having a one-click setup. For a long time now, we've been pulling data out of Class Super and also Simple Fund 360. This will be the first iteration of us being able to push that information back into our SMSF softwares to enable a seamless setup of our superannuation funds, our new funds, and we'll also shortly be starting work on being able to do that with CAS 360 as well. And probably the most exciting piece that we've been working on for some time, and something that I see as being really important around the type of work that we're doing going forward, and this is the introduction of workflows. We have spent some time initially looking at data flows, so helping data pass from one order form to another. This is now taking it to the next step where we're building your understanding of the strategy, so through the education and then the support, but allowing you to go through a stepped process and seamlessly implement these compliant SMSF documents. So we are still working through development at this stage, but happy to share with you just some of the work that we've done to date, and we are looking to launch this in beta in the coming month with a launch by October this year. So let's just go through and have a look at a couple of these things. So the first one here is around our dashboard. You can see on our profile tab you do have a document revenue area that allows you to put in fixed pricing here in respect to certain documents that you may be generating. Now what this will now do is on the dashboard it will give you visibility month on month, both in respect to the number of orders. So if we look at that black line there and against the column, the column on the right hand side, and then the blue bars here, or blue columns I should say, will also provide you with the revenue that you have generated in that month based on the prices that you have put inside the profile. So we will be continuing to develop our dashboard, in particular once we introduce workflows, and we'll give you more and more information to not only help understand what you might be doing, but also as we move into our Future of SMSF report, we'll start to benchmark a lot of this information for you as well. The other couple of things we wanted to show you around some of the new documents and some of the updated documents, in particular our transfer balance cap. We have now added in here the second stage of the commutation requirements in accordance with PCG 2017-5. So what we have here, you can go in and ordinarily prepare that document, or you can use the integration with either BGL's Simple Fund 360 or with Class Super simply by clicking on any of those buttons that you can see on the screen at the moment. So what I'm doing here is just moving back into one of our resumed orders, so where we've already imported this data. And what you can see here is we're just going through each of the specific pages and reviewing that information from our SMSF software, putting in the specific date of the meeting that this has occurred, and we have made a change to this next page where it will now ask the question whether we are completing an initial request or we're looking at it as a subsequent request. The date of the partial commutation, of course, is 30th of June. But you can see on this information, did the member here complete the initial request? And if they have, as part of the obligations in completing the financial statements in accordance with that practical compliance guideline, we will need to then do this next step, and that's where it asks for that commutation amount. If we haven't done that first step, and we should have done it by the 30th of June, we will then, by selecting no, you'll be able to generate the initial documents. So what you can see here is the updated set of minutes or resolutions around the commutation. As you can see here, it includes the specifics of the commutation amount and the information that the PCG requires us to include. So I encourage you to go back in and use that form, both in respect to the initial stage, which we had plenty of members go in and obviously complete those initial requests. You can now go in and use that same document to do the second set of commutation requirements that are needed as part of the PCG 2017-5. And if you do have any questions around that, we do have the webinar that goes through those steps, but also you can reach out to us online as well. The other thing that we wanted to go through and show you here was around our updated CPD register. Like I said, we've spent a fair bit of time going through this now, and we now have introduced a far more comprehensive what we believe CPD register, so which is picking up the ID, you as the member as under the email, and then the ability to create a online CPD certificate that you can see that has been created here and has all the information on that document. You can also then download that as a PDF file, whether you've then viewed that online to download it or whether you want to from here look at adding it to a LinkedIn profile, adding it to an email, or even sharing it if you are authorized through a dealer group. You do have the ability to download it there as well, and we have also included here links to the SMSF Association and FPA CPD accreditation. We do get asked for that quite regularly if you want more specific breakdowns of that information. So we'll be putting the URL link there for you to be able to download the assessment that we have received from those professional bodies as well. And the last one here, like I said, is really a really exciting development that we've been working on around workflows. And this allows us here to go through and start to create workflows that can step out different processes, whether it's from setting up a new fund or right through to introducing strategies. And you can see there we had a recontribution strategy as an example as well. What this is going to be doing is then going to be stepping out the processes that you need to follow to be able to generate the documents and use the integrations that we have as well. But it's a sequential workflow to go through and make sure you have all those specific steps included. So you can see here at the moment what we've got is we've linked the specific forms here to what we've got, but we can also include information around training and other aspects. We've also got the ability to import the data from class or BGL if we want to be able to create those documents. If there's a step in here that you don't wish to do, you have the ability to delete that step, as you can see there as well. So most of these where we have the integration already on those documents, you will be able to do that import. So we are trying to get as much feedback as we can from our members at the moment, in particular around some of the strategies that we can do here to help people move from education. So Aaron, this is great, but how do we do it? And actually give you the tools to show you how that can be done as well. So we will see this being rolled out not only across, like I said, new funds and LRBAs and making sure you've got all the ducks lined up in a row, but we'll be really focusing this on some of the strategy opportunities. It may be pension commencements and then being able to take certain actions off the back of that. It may be, like I said, the recontribution strategies, it may be commutations. So again, as many of these strategies we can now introduce into here as structured workflows and take you through in a very systematic way how those need to be implemented, and we can top and tail these with training, potentially advice documents into the future, much more. So it's a really exciting development in respect to what we've been building at the SMSF Academy to help you really stay ahead of the curve when it comes to implementation, how you do it, and how you can really benefit your clients and making sure that they get the strategic outcomes that they deserve as well. So in terms of what else we've been building, we have now added into our SMSF document suite the ability to add a non-lapsing binding death benefit nomination as a paramount document. Since we did our deed upgrade in March this year, we now have introduced this concept of a paramount document. Some of you may be aware of that as a concept, some of you may not. I'd encourage you to find out more if you haven't, but it allows you to say, in the event of any dispute here between a reversionary and maybe whether you want the BDBN to take precedent, by stating this as the paramount document, it will therefore bind the instruction in respect to what is occurring in that document rather than say that reversionary pension continuing. You do have the ability in the pension documents as well to state that as a paramount document if you want to do so. In terms of our pension documents, we have now updated those to incorporate retirement phase benefits. So the concepts from the 1st of July, we do have an additional suite of documents now included in there that deal with that specific issue. Like I showed you before, we've introduced our extended our transfer balance cap, partial commutation and full commutation that need to be done as part of the financial statements. We've got our ability to add our account-based pensions as a special rule of the fund. So where we have pre-existing income streams and we want to line that up to the current deed where the deed has been updated with us. And then in respect to a couple of things that are really in the pipeline at the moment and hope to have completed very quickly. The first one is our in-house asset loan agreement document that is literally being signed off at the moment, and we should be having that added on by the middle of September at the latest. We've been getting some requests in respect to that. We've been also getting a lot of requests around continued help around the CGT relief. So we're hoping to have our CGT relief tool, so our assessment tool that will allow you to go through and answer the specific questions and then demonstrate to you what the relief, the way in which relief would be applied, and then we'll produce the documents off the back of that. So that is something that we are endeavouring to have resolved over the month of September as well. And we're just getting some specific advice at the moment prior to finalising our Convert Tris to AVP documents. We do hold a view ourselves around the ability to do that conversion without commutation and repurchase. So we are asking for advice from the tax office in respect to that before we update those documents. So there is plenty to be going on. We are continuing to add documents around that. If you have any questions, suggestions, we encourage you to get in contact with us and we can be looking to continually adding to our document suite. In terms of what's coming up, we have recently run a webinar on how to build compliant SMSF pensions for our members. If you haven't seen that, that has been uploaded into our campus platform. Really important topic that you need to be aware of now, ensuring that you have your documents really tied back to the deed of the fund and the impact and the risks of not having that document right. And what we have seen in the surveying that we did, some 70% or just under using software generated documents that don't in essence tie up to what the rules of the fund are, and there are some key risks around that. So I'd encourage you, if you haven't had a chance to watch that video, that you do so. Our next webinar is the Changing Face of SMSF, which is on Thursday the 21st of September. We'll be going through obviously the latest technical and regulatory impact issues impacting self-managed super funds. And finally, we are sponsoring for the first time the Accountants Technology Showcase, or ATSA, by Smith Inc. Again, if this is something that you're going to be attending, I'd encourage you to do so and look out at just what technology is doing to the accounting sector more broadly. But we'd love to show you, if you are attending, what we're working on within our campus platform as well. And you can see on the bottom there, that was just some photos from our recent BGL RegTech events where I was both MC but also an event partner and had the opportunity to be talking to people around many of the benefits of what our campus platform can provide. So that's really it from me. If you do have any questions that you'd like in respect to not only what we've covered in our August update, but if you'd like to find out more about our document suite, our training, and more broadly our membership, I'd encourage you to book a time to have a discussion with me. You can see that there. You can copy that URL into your browser and book a time with me and have a conversation about potentially a membership solution that may be right for you. So thank you for listening to our August update. I look forward to sharing with you more news and exciting information in our September update. Have a great day. Cheers.